Big Gamer out here. How are you guys doing today? I'm super. Thanks for asking. Welcome guys to this week's Nintendo NX News Roundup, my favourite time of the week. And we've got some interesting stories for you today guys. So let's tackle the big one first, and that is obviously that Tesco's in the UK had put up the Nintendo NX for pre-order for the 31st of December and at a price point of £349. So that's been sending everyone on the internet into complete hysteria. Now this is why you guys shouldn't read too much into it. First of all, it's very normal in UK retail, especially UK games retail, for retailers like Tesco's to actually put up items like this well in advance and often test it in this way, and especially with a date like December 31st. Now, when the retailers do that in the UK, that tends to be the placeholder date for anything they don't actually have a date for, stuff that is to be confirmed. Rather than put to be confirmed, they find it easier and you get more pre-orders basically if you set a date, a standard date like December 31st. So don't read too much into that guys, and let's get down to the price. Now, you might be able to hear from my voice, I'm not too bothered about the price at the moment. And not only because this could be a placeholder price, that again is another thing that we do in UK retail. We sometimes shoot a little bit higher, and we get those pre-orders in nice and early, especially with something like the Nintendo NX, because in the UK, Nintendo Wii was sold out for over a year unless you had it pre-ordered. So counteract that, it wouldn't be a surprise to me if they actually put out a slightly higher price and stuck the price out there nice and early, just so they could gauge how much demand there was for the unit. What I will say about a $349 price point is that actually, when you think about it, it doesn't represent bad value for money. And don't look too much in the American market to the conversion between the pound and the dollar at the moment, because we are used to paying kind of a higher premium for our machines. So the actual conversion between the pound and the dollar won't be true to this console. As an example for you guys, when the Nintendo Wii U came out, I spent over £300 on that at launch day. So a $349 for the NX, which we believe is going to compete at a more technical level, is a good price. Also, you've got to consider the fact that this is a home console and a handheld. Now, if you were to buy a Wii U right now and a 3DS right now, the two together would cost much more than $349 in the UK, and that is with the reduced price of things like Nintendo 2DS and the Wii U not selling well. On top of that, guys, I recently just spent £300 on a Xbox One S, and that's not even the 2TB model. So in comparison, a new piece of hardware like the NX at the power which we expect it to be, and the fact that you can take it as a handheld device, is actually very, very good value for money at £349, even if it does come out that high, which we don't know to be the case yet, guys. When the Xbox One launched in the UK, it was actually £430. That's £80 more than what we are being shown here as an NX price, which also might be inflated beyond what you're expecting in your own market. I actually believe that this will come in sub $400, whether that's $399, $349, $379. I do believe it will be sub $400, and I also think when you consider the fact that PlayStation 4, for instance, came in at a very, very slim bundle in the UK, just the unit with the controller for £400. $349 for Nintendo NX doesn't sound unrealistic, and it doesn't mean it's going to be very, very high in the US just because it is in the UK, because at the moment with Brexit and all the rest of it, a pound's not that as strong as it was, so we're probably looking to pay a little bit of an extra premium there anyway. Following this, the Nintendo head for Canada had actually begun an interview by saying if the interviewer was to speak about Nintendo NX, that the interview would be cut short. Now that's very interesting, especially because in the same interview he went on to say that any upcoming news regarding this would be kind of covered in a Nintendo Direct, which is what a lot of people have been saying, is there going to be an October Nintendo Direct? Are they going to talk about the NX? But the fact that he decided to say that any questioning would be cut off and the interview would end makes me think that he's trying to maybe kind of bully the interviewer there to make sure that he's not going to be tricked into revealing anything regarding Nintendo NX, or for instance becoming silent on matters in which people could then dig into and then derive some kind of information about Nintendo NX. And that just makes me think that the announcement, the Nintendo Direct announcement that is coming for Nintendo NX is going to be coming soon, and that everyone at Nintendo right now are kind of really, really sewing their lips shut and making sure that there's not going to be the slightest hint of a leak in the lead up to the announcement. I mean, Nintendo, they pulled out of E3 to try and keep this quiet, and they're not about to slip at the final hurdle now, guys. So it's been an interesting week in Nintendo NX news, guys. If you want me to keep bringing you this news, feel free to comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.